genuinely don't know where to start with Bayonetta, and I mean that in the best way possible. This game doesn't just feel like a creative project, it feels like a last-ditch all-in Hail Mary from a team with nothing to lose and everything to prove. There's a wild, unfiltered, weirdly horny energy running through every fight, every cutscene, every camera-tilted slow-mo hair demon finisher. It's chaotic, it's stylish, it's completely unhinged, and that's exactly what makes Bayonetta herself so unforgettable. In an era where so many games feel like they were designed in a focus group and ironed out by algorithms and corpos, Bayonetta is the exact opposite. It feels like someone locked a group of talented, mildly unhinged developers in a room and said, "Make whatever the hell you want." And they did! Probably while chugging energy drinks and arguing about anime power scaling. It works because Bayonetta doesn't care if it's too much. That's kind of the point. And it makes you start to miss when games used to be like this. Raw, messy, creative. The kind of game you play for an hour, pause, and go, what the hell is going on? And why am I loving it? The result is something that doesn't try to please everyone, and is better for it. Bayonetta doesn't play it safe, doesn't ask permission, it just goes for it. And yeah, I finally get it now when people say, games used to be better back then, or they don't make them like they used to. This is probably what they mean. Not because it's perfect, it's not, but because it swings for the fences without a second thought about smashing the neighbor's window. Bayonetta kicks off with our main character, literally rising from the dead. She wakes up in a coffin at the bottom of the lake with no memory of who she is, why angels are constantly trying to murder her, or how her entire fashion lines are apparently made out of sentient hair. Within 5 minutes, we are fighting angels disguised as religious art, surplexing a giant monster in a graveyard, and watching her flirt fight with a red-suited rival like it's Tuesday. Does any of it make perfect sense? Absolutely not! And yet, somehow, that weirdly doesn't matter. The actual plot goes like this. Bayonetta is one of the last surviving Umbra witches, who once maintained balance with the Lumen Sages, their light-obsessed counterpart. A war broke out centuries ago, surprise surprise, and things went sideways fast. Now centuries later, Bayonetta is stuck in the middle of a conflict she barely remembers, tied to an ancient power called the Eyes of the World. When united, can basically control reality. When those eyes is missing, the other might be inside her, and everyone including Heaven seems to want peace. Insert sex joke here. As she tries to figure out what's going on, Bayonetta crosses paths with a handful of recurring characters. Luca, a journalist who thinks she killed his dad, but keeps showing up anyway like a puppy with a grudge. Jean, the rival witch who shows up just as often to kick your ass and drop cynical one-liners. Rodon, the chillest demon bartender and weapons dealer of all time. And Soresa, a small child who may or may not be your daughter, but definitely calls her mommy just to keep things extra confusing. The story is told through a mix of cinematic cutscenes and film reel style flashbacks that feel straight up like a graphic novel. The story doesn't hold your hand, it shoves you headfirst into a world of ancient conspiracies, celestial politics, and characters who all talk like they know something that you don't. It jumps through timelines, drops war mid-boss fight, and tosses Charmianchi at you like it's speedrunning a lick pig. But somehow, it never gets boring. The pacing is tight, the scenes hit fast, and even when you're totally not sure what's going on, the game keeps you locked in with fighting a giant angel in a whirlpool. That said, a few of the gimmick levels like the motorcycle chase or rocket ride definitely overstay their welcome. They try to mix things up, but they drag just long enough to test your patience. It teeters on nonsense, first with confusion, and still lands on its feet in 6-inch heels like that's the plan all along. Bayonetta is dropping you into a world that feels like an anime fever dream filtered through boutique fashion, Catholic guilt, and one very specific corner of Tumblr. It's loud, it's unapologetic, and completely unfiltered. It doesn't care if you're caught up, it just wants you to vibe and have fun. and maybe ask, wait, what? Right before you roundhouse kick an angel into a cathedral wall. But who am I kidding? You didn't come here for the story. You came here for the... If Bayonetta is remembered for one thing, it's the combat. Falling in line with the likes of Devil May Cry before it, this isn't just good for its time. It's still one of the most fluent, stylish, and mechanically rich combat systems in the genre. And the deeper you go, the more it gives back. At a glance, the combat looks like pure chaos. Bright flashes, spinning enemies, and angel flesh torn from your attacks, and the occasional demon dragon shooting someone in half. But underneath the spectacle is a system that's all about rhythm, timing, and control. Every attack you throw out can be strung into a combo. Light and heavy hits flow into one another like choreography. Weapons have their own animations, speeds, and combo paths, and you can equip 2 separate sets at once. One for your hands, one for your feet. You can swap out loadouts mid-fight, even mid-combo, which opens the door to some ridiculous expressive playstyles. You want to launch your enemies into the air, juggle them, slam them down, pop Witch Time, summon the Demon Fist, and then chain into a finisher with a completely different weapon? Go for it! The system lets you do that. In fact, it encourages it. Then there's Witch Time, the secret sauce. If you dodge at the very last second, time slows down for everyone except you. It's not just a flashy gimmick. It's the mechanic the whole combat loop revolves around. It rewards skill, awareness, and timing over brute force. Triggering Witch Time consistently is the difference between just surviving and absolutely styling on your enemies. And it's not easy at first. Enemies have varied wind-ups. Some delay their strikes, others faint. You have to read them, almost like a fighting game. And when you do, everything just clicks. The dodge becomes second nature, and you start thinking several steps ahead in every fight. And soon the whole thing flows like a beautiful choreographic dance. To crank the insanity even higher, you've got torture attacks, over-the-top finishers that trigger when you've built up enough magic. These range from spiked Iron Maidens to guillotines to giant chainsaws. They're so pure, they're flashy, they're brutal, and weirdly funny. They don't just kill enemies, they humiliate them. It's pure character, baked right into the mechanics. Then, there are your climax moves, usually used to finish off bosses or mini-bosses. These involve Bayonetta summoning massive demons using her own hair, which also happens to be her clothing. So yes, she literally strips down to summon Hell Beast. It's insane, it's iconic, it's Bayonetta, baby! What keeps the combat fresh is the weapon variety. From your default handguns, the claws, the whips, the shotguns, swords, and beyond. Every weapon has a unique feel, moveset, and even tempo. Each one can be assigned to hands or feet, meaning a sword on hands and shotgun on your feet loadout plays completely differently than dual hands on pistols. The weapons are just aesthetic, they reshape your entire rhythm. A fast weapon might encourage aggressive rushdown play, while a heavier weapon might slow you down but let you stagger tougher enemies. You're not just picking what looks cool, you're picking how you want to play. When you're not busy roundhouse kicking and jug war machines into stained glass windows between battles, you'll find yourself checking in for Dawn, the demon bartender / weapons dealer who runs the gates of hell. Think of him as your one-stop shop for everything that lets you hit harder, last longer, and look cooler while doing it. Dawn's shop is where you buy everything, from healing items, new moves, to way overpriced accessories that tweak your abilities in subtle, but game-changing ways. You can stock up on consumables like lollipops. Yeah, that's what they call its health items, which lets you heal, power up, or refill your magic meter. They're useful in a pinch, but the game does discourage you from spamming them for a ranking penalty if you rely on them too much, which is pretty dumb, because then what's the point of even having them? Which might frustrate newcomers, though it didn't really bother me personally. Then there's the crafting system, which is super easy to overlook, but surprisingly useful. Throughout each level you'll pick up colored item pieces, red, green, yellow, and with enough of them, you can cook up your own lollipops. It's not super deep, but it's a nice touch. Honestly, I didn't engage with the system much. Most of the time I forgot it was even there. What really makes Radon's shop worth checking in on though, are the golden LPs, collectible vinyl records scattered across the levels. Each LP you find is broken into pieces, and once you collect all the parts, Radon disappears for a second, says something like, "Be right back," and returns with a new demon-forged weapon, usually after beating the hell out of some poor soul in hell. It's a vibe. The weapons you'll unlock this way are some of the coolest, weirdest in the game. Nunchucks, ice skates, so a literal energy sword called Pillow Talk, opening up entirely new ways to play. It's one of those systems that gives the game depth without overwhelming. You can engage with it as much or as little as you want. But if you do go hunting for LPs and ingredients, Bayonetta absolutely rewards the effort. Then you've got the Alpine portals, which are basically challenge rooms hidden throughout the main campaign. Think of Devil May Cry's secret missions, but weirder and meaner. Each one drops you into a tighter, defined combat trial, and you have to defeat all the enemies without taking a single hit. Maybe you're not allowed to use a certain number of combos, or stay airborne the entire time to inflict damage. Some of them are brutally hard. The kind of hard where you'll stare at the retry screen for 10 minutes before even considering walking away, while it constantly drives you to insanity with a timer and having to restart in 3 hits. But they're also a brilliant stress test for the mechanics. Alpine challenges you, pushes you, to master Bayonetta's systems on a granular level. Precise dodging, combo timing, and weapon switching. The main game teaches you to dance, Alpine forces you to perform it under pressure. And when you do beat them, you get rewarded with broken witch hearts or moon pearls, which expand your health bar and magic meter respectively. So yeah, if you're going for a full power, these trials are basically mandatory. But don't worry, they can also be found chests scattered throughout locations.
I've been high and dry for 20 years now. The only rust on me is from the lack of any real challenge. Perhaps you're up for the task.
Enemy design pushes you to use all of this. Basic enemies teach you spacing and dodging, but soon you're dealing with flying enemies, shielded birds, too fast attack enemies that will difficulty check you out of nowhere. Oh boy, if you know, you know. And to top it off with boss mechanics that force you to switch tactics on the fly. The game rarely repeats itself, and it's constantly introducing something new, often without warning. And yeah, it's hard. Not brutally unfair, but demanding. It doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't explain every mechanic on a tooltip. The game doesn't even have a dedicated training room for combos. The skill ceiling is high, the kind of high that makes you want to go back and replay early chapters just to see how much better you've gotten. Every fight the game grades you. You get a medal. Stone, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or pure platinum, based on your combo variety, damage taken, and speed. At first, these rankings are brutal. You'll be seeing a lot of stone statues like I did on my first playthrough. But eventually, you start chasing platinums. That's where the loot becomes addictive. Not for rewards, not for XP, just for mastery. As much as I love the combat, and as tight as it feels when it's working, I can't say Bayonetta hits every note perfectly. There were moments, usually in tighter environments or against larger enemies, where I was actively fighting the camera as much as I was fighting angels. But it can get frustrating when a perfectly timed dodge gets punished because the camera decided it was more interested in a nearby statue than a giant holy beast about to crush you. And speaking of timing, combo inputs in Bayonetta are tight, like really tight. You got to hit those follow-ups fast and precise. Miss the window by even a beat and your combo drops. It's satisfying when you get it right, like landing a perfect string in a fighting game, but it can feel unforgiving early on, especially if you're coming in fresh. Annoyingly enough, I was unable to pull off a lot of combos I could have if I just had a lot more time to push the input. That said, it makes mastering the mechanics all the more rewarding. When everything clicks, when the camera cooperates, combos hit clean, and you're weaving through attacks like a demon ballerina, there's nothing quite like it. Simply put, Bayonetta is one of the best action games I've ever played. The combat is satisfying, stylish, and endlessly expressive. Rewarding skill while still remaining fluent and approachable. It's a game that challenges you. No, practically dares you to improve when you're in the zone. It feels incredible. Sure, it has its flaws. Some mechanics are half-baked. The story's a chaotic blur, in a good way. And the visuals still hold up surprisingly well. But when Bayonetta is firing on all cylinders, few games can touch its energy. When you're in sync with it, it becomes something truly special. This is where an iconic series was born, and even today, it still feels one of a kind. Here, at Critical Reset, I give Bayonetta a 4 out of 5. Real talk, Bayonetta can be tough, even on normal. If you're new to action games, it will test you. There is no shame in dropping the difficulty. This game is worth experiencing however you play it. Don't let scores or performance hold you back from this incredible masterpiece. I'm Red, this is Critical Reset, where every game gets a second look.